had to deal with the property owners. When Cindy Yuge's parents died, the other family members would have to leave the property within 6 months.
Yeah, and Cindy's mom passed away in November, and now she and her sisters are scrambling to pack up more than 100 years of Japanese history from their historic home. Cindy joins us live, and thank you for joining us and telling us a little bit about your story.
Welcome, Cindy.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about what's happening. You're packing 100 years of history.
Yes, it's a little difficult. It's challenging to say the least because we had a nursery, and so it's not just the inside of a house.
A plant nursery.
Yes.
Let's bring the audience a little bit up to date about what's happening. Your father built the garden house on the Scripps property?
It was actually built for my father's uncle,
okay,
who was the second-in-line caretaker for the estate and the orange groves.
For the Kellogg's?
Florence Scripps Kellogg.
Okay.
and they had promised the property to you?
So the relationship was that when my father came in the late 20s, his duty was to take care of the orange groves as well as the estate. There were two estates, Scripps Hall and High Lawn. And so his duty was to take care of both estates and the orange groves.
Right, but what we're trying to get to is that the property was sold to the Waldorf School,
Yes.
who's now said that, and they made an agreement with you that when the last patriarch of the family passed away, that the family would have to move, and your mother passed away, I'm sorry to hear, 6 months ago?
Yes, in November. The agreement with Mr. Kellogg was that he had said, you can stay here as long as you want, as long as you're doing the caretaking. He ran a business, which was all under the auspices, and Mr. Kellogg knew about it and was fine with it, and said, just as long as you're taking care of things.
Cindy, was there
fine.
anything in writing that Mr. Kellogg put together in the deed or anything that way?
No, there wasn't, unfortunately. It was a handshake agreement.
So what happens now? Where are you headed? Where's the family headed?
So my husband and I will be moving in with my aunt because we had no other place to go. All of the things that we cannot move over, because that was my uncle's house and he passed away in May. So we're having to sort of move two houses at the same time.
Will the family business continue?
No, we retired after my father passed away in '89. We kept it going, my mother and I, for about another 10 years,
Okay.
I think it was.
Well, there's been a lot of criticism, I think, in social media, the family. I think people are wondering if you pay rent, and about this agreement that now that the Waldorf School is the new owners, they say, well...
So the agreement that was made with Mr. Kellogg was that, there was never anything in writing about rent or anything. It was more of a...
but he doesn't own the property anymore.
Right,
The
I'm
Waldorf
getting to
School.
that.
Okay. Well, we have 1 minute, so I don't mean to rush you. I know
okay.
it's a complicated...
Nobody told me anything.
Okay.
So the agreement with Mr. Kellogg was to continue under Waldorf Schools. There was a drawn-up agreement.
There was a drawn-up agreement.
Yes.
So when he sold the school to Waldorf, there was something in that agreement with Waldorf.
Actually, the Scripps Old Age Home sold it to Waldorf School.
Okay.
Is there going to be a lawsuit? Any attempt through legal channels to stay in the home?
We both have representation, but, we're hoping to come to some sort of amicable agreement without a lot of legal, entanglements.
One last question, Cindy. I'm sorry, I'm jumping. Because
wanna
I
hear
find
your
this so
last question.
fascinating.
It is.
One of the things that I'm so interested in is the history of the home, the history of the family there. I know in the paper they had a lot of photographs of old things. Has there been any talk about some sort of exhibit,
Actually,
museum? Because there's a wealth of California history in that home.
there is. And actually, I've been speaking with somebody at the Smithsonian. She contacted us and said that she was interested in some of our artifacts, our things from camp especially.
Quickly, what year did your family acquire to start living in the home?
It was actually my father's uncle, so that would have been in the early 1900s.
So all through the internment camps here, that your family
Yeah.
was safe on that property?
Well, no, they went to camp.
They went to
Okay, all right. No, I was
Yes.
wondering about
No,
that.
there were armed guards at the corner of Fair Oaks and Mariposa.
Once again,
Thank
so
you
much
so
history
much.
there. That's a part of California history, American history,
Yes.
that's not told enough. And unfortunately, we don't
Yes.
have enough time to get into it. I hope you'll come back and talk to us, fill us in, keep us up to date with what's going on.
Okay.
All right. Thank you,
you.
Cindy.
Thank you very
so
much.
much.
Thank you. She'll be live at Staples Center June 21st, but we get to hear one of the recording artists, Larissa Lamb's original song live today in studio.
And Evan Chase, Master of Ceremonies for the Unify LA event. Larissa's singing at will be with us right here on CCN Sunrise. That's coming up next.